We're now going to look at adding borders and shading to cells, rows and columns. I'm going to open a workbook called Borders and Shading. And we're going to click on cell A1. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my font format, and just here you'll notice there is a border. Now, if I click on the little arrow, you get a whole range of different types of borders. So at the moment, I'm actually going to choose thick box border, and I'm going to click on that. And if I now click out, you'll notice that there's actually a border around that. I'm now going to click on B6. And if I click on B6, I'm going to add a right border to this. And I'm going to choose the range actually between category and accessories. So I'm going to add the right border to all of these. So holding down my shift key, I click on B9 as well. And if I go up to my borders, click on the down arrow, and I'm going to choose a right border. And I'm going to click on that. Now, to see how it will look when it prints, if I now go to my Office button and choose Print Preview, I can actually look at what my actual item will look like. And as you can see, there's a border around cell borders, and we have a right border on our first column. Just going to close down the print preview because I don't need that anymore, and I'm now going to add a border to the row borders. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to choose my first row, and that is going to be 6B through to F6. So B6, so I click on that, hold shift key down and click on F6. I've highlighted those, and I'm going to choose a thick border again. So I go to the drop down and click on thick border. And again, if I want to, I can check my print preview to see what it looks like. So go to print preview, and there we are. We now have our first row actually covered. So close print preview. I'm now going to go to column borders, and I'm going to choose my category B6 through to B9 using shift key again, and I'm also going to add a thick border to this. If I click out, I can see that the border's been added. Again, if I do want to actually check to see what this looks like, I can go into print preview, and there we have our border around that column. We're now going to look at colouring cells and rows and columns. So I'm just going to click on cell shading and click on B6. To actually change the colour of the background of an actual cell, we need to be in our font tab here, and we're actually looking at our fill colour. Now I actually need the drop down, which will give me the palette, and in this case I'm going to choose yellow, and if I click on it and then click anywhere away from my active cell, you'll see that that is now actually highlighted with yellow in the background. I'm going to do row shading now, and I'm going to choose the tab row shading, and I'm going to click on B6 through to F6, and I'm going to go to my fill colours again, go to the drop down, and in this case I'm going to actually select a pale blue colour. Well, you've got 3 variations there, so I think I'm going to choose this one. And if I now click away from the active cell, you'll see that that is coloured. And we're going to do the same. So I'm going to now click on column shading, and I'm going to go from B6 through to B9 to press the shift key to highlight those. And I'm going to choose a colour that I fancy. So in this case, I'm going to put in a purple background, and as you can see, if I just flip through these, you'll see that we now have borders and colours added to them. We're going to save this document, so click Save and Control F to close. We're now going to look at horizontally aligning data within a cell range. I'm going to go up to my Office button, and in this case I want to align data horizontally. Click on that to open it, and I'm going to click on B5 and hold Shift key down and press down to B9. So I've now got that group highlighted. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to my Home tab, and we're going to look at the alignment here. And you've got two different types of alignment. The ones at the top align your text or numbers vertically, and the one at the bottom here aligns horizontally, and I'm going to click on the center. If I do that, you'll notice that my sales regions are now centered accurately. I'm now going to select the data within column C, so click on C5, hold Shift key down and click on C9. And what I'm going to do is left align the numbers. So I go to my Home button and I click on left align. And you'll see that my text will now look as though it's on the left, and the numbers are on the left as well. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select our information in the D column here. Click on D5 and hold Shift key down and click on D9 so that I've actually highlighted. And in this case, I'm going to actually choose the right text align. So it's this one, and you'll see that my salesperson's names are all right aligned. And you can actually do this with anything. To make things look tidy, just for the fun of it, I'm going to actually align the company employees' numbers centrally, but leave the actual numbers in the columns in their correct position, which is right aligned. I'm going to save this document and press Control F4.